I remember the day I barged into my boss's office, interrupting a serious meeting with what I thought was a brilliant idea. My heart was racing and my confidence was sky high. Kevin, my older and wiser friend, had warned me to wait for the right moment. But I was too impatient to listen. I pitched my idea passionately, ignoring the annoyed looks from everyone around the table. As I spoke, I started to sense the room's tension. My boss's frown deepened with every word I said. And it hit me, I had misread the situation completely. Walking out of that meeting, frustration boiled inside me. Kevin caught up and tried to calm me down, telling me I needed to think before I acted. I brushed him off, too proud to admit he was right. Even though doubt was beginning to creep in, I could feel my colleagues' eyes on me, their whispers like a constant reminder of my mistake. Later that day, I saw Anna across the street. Without thinking, I decided to run through traffic to get to her, dodging cars like it was some kind of game. She was impressed but also worried. I shrugged off her concern, inviting her out for a spontaneous lunch. She agreed, but I could see the hesitation in her eyes. My recklessness was starting to show. Back at the office, I found an email waiting for me from my boss. It was a warning, a direct consequence of my behavior earlier. My heart sank. For the first time, my confidence wavered. I looked over at Kevin, who shook his head, clearly disappointed. I felt panic rise in my chest, but I still wasn't ready to admit I was wrong. I spent the next few days in a fog, wrestling with my thoughts. One afternoon, I found myself sitting in a park, watching kids play. Kevin sat down beside me and started talking calmly about the value of patience and humility. I listened, for once, really listened. His words hit me harder than I expected. Maybe he was right. Maybe it was time to change. Determined, I threw myself into my next project. I prepared thoroughly, taking Kevin's advice to heart. I was nervous, but I stayed focused. When it came time to present, I walked into the conference room with a calm I hadn't felt in a long time. This time, I didn't rush. I didn't speak over anyone. I made my points clearly and effectively. I could see the change in my boss's expression, a hint of approval. Anna was in the back, smiling. Feeling good about myself, I attended a networking event. But just as I started to relax, a rival called me out, mocking my past mistakes in front of everyone. Anger surged through me, but I remembered Kevin's words. Instead of snapping back, I took a deep breath and responded diplomatically. I could see the surprise on people's faces, even my own. For once, I hadn't let my temper get the best of me. A few days later, I was in the break room when my phone rang. It was my boss. He was offering me a promotion, recognizing my growth and maturity. I was over the moon. I thanked him, then rushed to share the news with Kevin and Anna. They congratulated me, genuinely happy for me. I stood there, feeling a mix of joy and relief. I realized that while my youthful exuberance had its place, there was strength in balancing it with wisdom. That balance had led me to where I was, and it felt like a victory I'd truly earned.